Good morning, Jim Jam Gang. How are you all? It's so nice to see you. I'm sorry that we're under these circumstances, though. Sorry, in Victoria, I should say. But it is amazing to see you coming. I'm going to leave your microphones on just for another couple of seconds, in case anybody wants to say hello. I like hearing people's voices.
Hi.
Say hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
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 While we're letting everybody,
Oh my god.
while we're letting everybody I think muting.
Hey, mommy.
Here they are.
What are you doing?
I've got Snoopy Jim Jams today, and it's quite hard to see, but I'll try.
What are you doing?
And actually, Green Ugg boots of my boots is the same as the green.
There's some the kitty messenger people saying video.
All right, let's get on with it. Thank you so much for being here. Gee whiz, there's millions of you. I love that. That is really good. What I'd like is if you've got a pen or a pencil or something to write with, because you are going to do a little bit of writing, if you like, right? But I'm going to show you a tiny, tiny presentation because you may or may not have had a word study sheet like this. If you've got that, you can also have that in front of you. This is something that we're going to work on this week. But before that, I wanted to show you a little bit about this box in the word study sheet. And if you haven't got it, it's on my website. And it would have been in the email that went out to everyone who registered. Even if you registered like a year ago, you're still on that email list. So check your junk folders if you don't have it, and you don't have to have this in front of you, but this is definitely something that we're going to be doing some work on. But it's this box here. Oh, see that box that says structure? That's kind of the hardest part of this whole thing called the 4-step process. It's about studying words, right? And that's the hardest part. So we're going to do a little bit of stuff on that right now. We'll do I do, and then it will be you do, okay? And then tomorrow, we're going to take a vote on what we're studying tomorrow. I've got 3 subjects, and we'll study words from those subjects. So here we go. Are you ready for this? Because here's the thing that I want everybody to be really, really familiar with. It's called marking like a boss, right? Now, the words that we're going to study, I'm going to get you to put marks on. I'm going to get you to mark them, the tricky bits that you have to remember, because remembering how to spell words is really, really hard. And I want to show you a system that will help you to remember how to do that and will help you to study any word that you want to study without me, without your parents, just by yourself. You can do this, right? But you have to learn the technique. So here comes the technique. As you can see in this title slide right now, we've got Finn there, and he's got his head on my knee under the desk in exactly the same way as his head is on that cushion. And that's what he does. That's what he does for a living. That's what he does for a living. All right, so here we go. When you're studying a word and you need to find out, or you need to look at the bits that you've got to remember, the first thing that I'm going to get you to do is to underline letters that go together to make one sound, right? And it's called underline. It's fine, okay? So if we look at the word path here, or path, as you would say it, right? You possibly would say it. Do you see how the T and the H go together to make? Well, underline them. When you're studying a word, that will help your brain to make that part a unit, and a unit is something that one thing that you can remember, and that actually reduces the number of things that you have to remember. So in the word saw, the AW go together to make the sound or, like that. So I've underlined it, underline, it's fine. And in the word night, these three letters, I-G-H, when you see those three letters in words, you're supposed to say I. So you underline those three letters. They go together to make us think of one sound, I. Yep, underline, it's fine. That is our first tip about remembering words. Here's the next bit. Sometimes in words, there are letters that don't make a sound. Okay, I'm sure you've heard of them. They're called silent letters. Everybody knows about silent letters, right? But when you're trying to remember how to spell a word, sometimes it's hard if there's a silent letter. Yeah, sometimes it's hard because it doesn't make a sound. So you've got to try and remember that it's there. And my marking system has it like this. Cross like a boss. Yeah. The word house, when you say house, your sounds, the sounds that you make for this word, stop here. But there's an extra letter. It's final silent E. So you cross it when you're trying to remember that it doesn't make a sound. Same with the word crumb. Look, it goes k, r, and that's where you stop. You don't go k, r, b, right? There's no sound here. So we mark it with a cross. By the way, that B comes back when you add a suffix, right? Crumb, crumble, the B comes back. Yeah, so when you crumble something, you make it into crumbs. Anyway, here's another word, hymn. A hymn is what people sing in church, right? But we go, and the sound stop here at the N. The N is silent, so you cross it. Cross like a boss. That helps you remember there's a silent letter when you come to study words with silent letters in them. Are you with me so far? I hope so. Here's the next bit. You ready? Show the bossy letters, right? Bossy letters are letters that have an effect on letters near them, okay? For instance, this word gate, right? If I took away the E, just imagine covering up the E and not seeing it, that word would go back to a different pronunciation. You would say g-at, but the E is making the A say its name. I've also crossed like a boss because the E isn't making a sound. Do you see how that works? So I've drawn an arrow from the E all the way to the A because that's a bossy letter. Now I just wanted to, I'm just going to stop the slideshow for a second because we have, oh, he was here a second ago. We have Marvel, I don't want to do his back end. We have Marvel here today. He is, come here, Marvin. Here he is. He's joining us today. I don't know what sort of cat he is, but very silly. So I thought I'd just, while he was on the desk, show him to you. Anyway, show the bossy letters. Let's get back to that, okay? Show the bossy letters. And I know that some of you have questions, and I'm going to answer the questions when we are through the presentation, okay? So hold those questions there. Dun, 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 dun. You ready? Here we go. Show the bossy letters. So this word wash, when you see a W in words, watch out. Watch out. W has an effect on other letters, especially the letter O and the letter A. So when W is next to A, it makes the A say oh. Yep, it's called the W effect. That word is not w-a-sh. It's w-o-sh. Wash. Yep. So that arrow goes from the W to the A to show us a bossy letter. Here's another one. The E next to the C makes the C say S. This word is cell, as in, do you have a cell phone? Or they put the prisoner in a cell. Yep, a prison cell. All right, so if I had a different letter there, like the letter A, there would be no arrow. That word now would be call. Yeah, so this is cell. The E makes the C say S. Show the bossy letters. It helps you remember. Here's the other thing. Sometimes in words, some of the letters are not making the sounds that you would expect them to make. It happens. It happens quite a lot, in fact, and we can call those irregular words. The more of the code you know, the less irregular words there are. But it's a good idea when you're learning all of this stuff to show the letters that are being odd. It's called show the oddballs, right? So we've got the word do there, and usually this is d and this is o, or sometimes o, not usually oo, right? So I've got 2 lines under an oddball. To help me remember, that's a different pronunciation, and I'm going to use a different letter than I normally would for oo, letter or letters. Same with the word of, right? It says o. You're taught that this says, but in the word of, it's actually making a v sound. So underline it twice, being an oddball. Same with the word chef. We're taught from the very beginning of school that these 2 letters go together to make ch. But in this word, because we borrowed it from French, it's sh. There are other words with ch saying sh, and the more of them you see, the less odd it is. Yeah, but right now, when you're just still learning all of this stuff, show the oddballs. Show the ones that you have to pay special attention to. The last bit is this. I know if some of you have joined me before, we did syllable counting. Do you remember when we did syllable counting? I hope you do, right? So if I said a word like window, what we would do is say it out loud, and then we'd zip, and then we'd say it, we'd hum it through our noses to see how many times we went, hmm. So let's do window. You ready? Say it out loud. Window, zip, don't forget to count on your fingers, yeah? 2 syllables. Well, here's the other thing about syllables. When you break words into syllables, and I recommend that you break them into syllables when you're studying them, try to break them along their meanings. Yeah, every syllable has a meaning. They're not just a bunch of sounds. There's meaning in there. For instance, free and dumb. Yeah, freedom. Dom, on the end of words like kingdom. We have somebody's mic on. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. So break along those. These word parts have meanings. Same with mountain, right? The mount bit is the bit that sticks out, right? Mount. And look, AI doesn't usually say it doesn't usually say right? So we underline it twice because it should say mountain, and it doesn't. We don't say mountain. Act, or one who acts, right? So split them into their meaningful parts. You're going to get a lot more out of it than that, right? If you do it that way. Now, let's take some questions before it's a you do. It's time for you to do. I saw that Maxie had his hand up. Do you want to ask me a question, Maxie, or has it gone? I'm sorry.
I was with my next door neighbor and I just asked and it was right. Okay.
Okay, I'm just glad you went on because I like your glasses.
Thank you.
Oh, all right. Okay, so here we go. You ready for the you do bit? This is where you do the writing. Here we go. Say, I was born ready, Lynn. This bit says, now it's your turn. Now it's your turn. Let's do underline, it's fine, okay? Here we go. Here's the word think. The word think. Now, what would you underline in think? 2 letters making 1 sound. Have you figured it out? If you are writing with me, copy down think and underline the 2 letters that go together to make 1 sound. Here's the next one. Draw. What 2 letters in this word go together to make 1 sound? Very good, very good. I'll give you a bit of a minute. Here's the next one, just in case you're moving along fast. It's fight. Now in this one, I'll give you a clue, right? There's 3 letters making 1 sound. Underline, it's fine. And then shop. What are you going to underline? I'll count to 15 in my head, and then we'll do the solution. Here we go. Here's the solution. Think, 2 letters, 1 sound. Yep. Draw, 2 letters, 1 sound. Or. So put a line underneath or. Yep. 2 letters, 1 sound. Fight, 3 letters, IGH, making an I sound. Shop, 2 letters, 1 sound. Shh. Got it? Did you get that one? I hope so. I really hope so. All right. You ready for cross like a boss? Let's do this. Here's the first word. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to put a cross under the letter that's not making a sound. What is the letter that you don't hear in that word? When you're ready, put a cross under the letter you don't hear in this word. It's climb. My cat likes to climb the walls. Actually, he likes to climb your leg. Where does the word end? Do we say all the letters in that word? Put a cross under the one that we don't say. And then here's a big one. Here's a challenge. We've got autumn. Autumn is the Australian and British word for fall, right? So in America, they call autumn fall. We did this in the seasons, if you came along to the season one. But where do you stop saying the word? Where do you stop pronouncing those letters? Are you ready for the solution? Here it comes. Oh, right. And I think we've got a white, white pen. Here we go. I'm going to put a cross under the word rage. It goes rage, and it stops right there. So there should be a cross under your E. Oh, that was a bad cross. Climb, climb. We don't say the B. Put a cross under it. Did you cross like a boss? I hope so. Or, sorry, ought, that's where we stop. Put a cross under the letter that you don't say. Did you get that one? An N. I think you're ready to go on. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's show the bossy letters this time. You ready? First word, made. What is the letter in that word that's having an effect on one of the other letters? When you're ready, you can do want. What is the bossy letter? And when you're ready, you can do gym. We went to the gym, got strong. Give you a few seconds. Where is the bossy letter? Draw an arrow from the bossy letter to the letter that it's bossing about. Okay, we'll do the solution. In this word made, what we've got, and I'll just put a cross under here, is a letter that doesn't make a sound. So we cross like a boss. But also, the E is making the A say its name. Because here's the thing. If I took that E away, that word would be mad. Mad, right? But with that E, we now pronounce it made. That's what E does. And I'm sure you've heard of the term bossy E. All right, with want, we have a W again. Always watch out for W. W is making the A say oh. A doesn't usually say oh. It's got to have something making it do that. And W does that. And then the last word is gym. The letter G usually says G, right? But here it's saying J. The letter next to it, the Y, is making it do that. If it wasn't a Y, if it was something else, like a U, the G would say G, like gum. But this is gym. The Y is doing it. Does that make sense? Did you see that? Did you get that? Hope so. All right, good. Who's ready for the oddballs? The oddballs are my favorite. Here we go. Show the oddballs. Let's do this. There's the word to. What letter is being unusual? What letter is making a sound that you're not used to or don't get taught when you're first learning all this stuff? When you're ready, you can do the word many. What's the letter that's being unusual? And when you're ready for that, when you finish that, do, does. Where is the letter that's being unusual, that's making an unusual sound? Give you a few seconds. All right, let's do this. The word to. Well, that should say t-o or t-o, but it doesn't. It says to. The letter O doesn't usually say oo in words. There are a few very high frequency words where it does that, like to, do, who, and then we've got shoe, prove, lose, canoe, but there aren't that many. So I like to show it as odd. Got to remember that that's an O and just one, and that's the to that means I'm going to the shops. Yep, I wrote this to you. Many. It looks like it says many, right? But it says many. A doesn't usually represent E in words. But show the oddball. Double line underneath the A. Did you get that? I hope so. And the word does, it looks like it should say does, right? Because E usually makes a vowel say its name. That's not happening in does. So the O is making an sound. And by the way, do you see this ES? Well, that's a suffix. That's just like the letter S, but we put the E in there so we don't say the word dos, amazingly enough. So that's an extended suffix. Da, 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 da. Speaking of suffixes, hope you got all that, right? Speaking of suffixes, we're going to do syllables now. Here we go. Syllables have meaning. Now, I'm happy for you to take off your microphones and shout out the answer, okay? Here's the word replay. If we're going to split that, we're not going to spit. We're going to split that into syllables, right? If we're going to split that, where would you split it? And what would be the meaning of the bit?
Re and then the play.
Yes, you got it. I think that was Maxie. Right. Yeah. The meaning of re means back or again. Yeah. So if you play something, you play it back, you play it again. Syllables have meaning. You should learn those meanings. It's a really, really good thing to do. Here's the next one. You ready? Unhelpful. If I split that,
Unhelpful.
yep, exactly. Un is my prefix. Help is my base. So I'm going to split it there. And full is my suffix. Now, unhelpful, well, the un bit means not helpful. If I didn't have the un bit there, right, the word would be helpful. But that meaningful part, that prefix, turned that word into its opposite. Isn't that cool? This suffix also helped us describe someone or something using the word help. Yep, that's a suffix that helps us describe things. Helpful, awful, wonderful. Yeah, you got it? They have meaning. Do you want to see dinosaur? That's why I've got a picture of a dinosaur, right? Did you know? Oh, actually, I've got I've got the solutions there. Did you know that the first two syllables in the word dinosaur, the dino bit, yeah? Do you know what the dino bit means? It's really cool. The dino bit means terrible. And the saur bit, lizard. This whole thing means terrible lizard. Dinosaur. Isn't that great? Terrible. And this dino here, that actually is also related to a word that we have, that we say a lot, meaning terrible. I'm just going to write it down and I'll read it for you. This is a word meaning terrible. Dire, right? If I'm like, hey, what did you think of the show? And someone says, it was dire. It means terrible. So dino and dire come from the same root. Terrible lizard. But I hope today's presentation isn't dire.
You have a question in the chat.
No worries. It's actually time for questions. So I'm going to start answering questions. Here we go. So Anastasia says, what other letters are like the W that change the surrounding sounds? Well, there's a few of them. There's a few of them. E does it the most, right? E does it the most. But sometimes R and L will have an effect on letters. For instance, you know that word all, like I want all the pizza. That first letter is an A, but because there's an L after it, that A doesn't say a, doesn't say a, it goes all. Yeah, L does that. L, W, and R, they're very, very, they can bend vowels, they can do stuff to vowels. So that's part of the answer, but it's quite a long answer because you're asking about the whole system. Right? I hope that works. Well done, Kavita. I hope I'm saying your name right. Re means again. Perfect. So that's the marking system. Now, I'm going to do a very, very ambitious thing. You can go, Bubs. I am going to try to do a poll here. But I actually might not be able to do it. So I think I've tried this before. It's very, very ambitious of me. I'm not going to do the poll. This is what I'm going to do. What I want you to write, yeah, in the chat, okay, is either the number 1, 2, or 3. Not yet, because you don't know what they mean yet, right? But here we go. We're going to take a vote on the subject and the words from that subject that we're going to study tomorrow, okay? First choice, and this, if you want this one, press 1, but wait till you've seen all the choices, okay? 1, space. Are we going to study space? 2, weather. Are we going to study the weather? 3, dinosaurs. Okay, so I want you to put in the chat 1, space. 2, weather. 3, dinosaurs. And we will study words from whatever subject. You can only vote once. Don't vote twice. Okay, once. When you're finished, and I'll give you a few minutes because it's question time now, yeah? When you're finished, and after this, I'll go into the chat and I'll count all the votes, okay? And then tomorrow I'll announce what we're going to study. Remember, 1 is space, 2 is weather, 3 is dinosaurs. All right, any questions? Would anyone like to say anything? It's wide open. You can say or do whatever you like.
Hey, Lynn.
Yes, Max. Alex. Max?
Yeah, Mac. If dino means terrible, then why do people say, you know how dino is like short for dinosaur?
Mm-hmm.
Does dino just mean terrible?
Yeah.
Or is it different?
No, it means terrible. But we say terrible. We've taken that word from Latin. And we've put the Latin dino and the Latin saur together to make dinosaur. So we made a new word. About 200 years ago, that word came about. Yeah, by someone who studied ancient fossils and things like that. And he invented the word dinosaur. He said, let's have dino from Latin and we'll have saur and we'll put it together. It's called dinosaur. Amazingly enough, of all the things he could have called it. Because terrible doesn't just mean really bad. It means frightening as well. Yep, it means terrifying. Do you see that terror bit? That's the scary bit. So isn't that scary? Mm. There you go. Any other questions, people? I can hear some squeaking, or maybe someone's got hiccups. Is that you, Alex? Did you want to ask a question?
Mm-hmm. Why did we do this thing on Tuesday?
What do you mean?
It's Tuesday today.
That's true. What day should it have been, do you think?
It should be on Friday.
Yeah, but listen, if I do them on Monday and Friday, it means I get a short weekend, not a long weekend. Do you see how that works?
Oh, yeah. Big brain.
So it's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week, and then hopefully no more lockdown. Right? If lockdown is lifted, it'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Oh, I've got a question. Somebody's got their hand up, but I don't know your name because it's come up as iPad. Okay, iPad, ask your question.
My name. Why is there silent letters?
Well, that's an amazing question. It's a brilliant question. Here's the thing that you gotta understand about spelling. Spelling is not just about the sounds, it's about the meaning as well. And the silent letters tell us something about what the word means. Yep, the silent letters tell us something about what the word means, or sometimes they just tell us where the word came from. So words have more information than just sound. But as you get older, because I get that you're very young, right? But as you get older, you'll see more and more words and it will become clearer and clearer to you. But that was an amazing question. I don't know your name, but that was just one of the best questions I've ever heard. Does anybody have?
I'm Emma.
Oh, you're Emma?
Mm-hmm.
Really, Emma, lovely to meet you.
And I'm 5.
You're 5 already.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's really good. And you're asking brilliant questions like that. You should be proud. Any other questions, anyone? Cyril, go for it. Love your name, Cyril. That's a brilliant name.
How come there's so many different twos that sound the exact same?
Well, because they've got lots of different meanings, and they came about in lots of different ways. It's just that they happen to sound the same. So and oo are easy to say. But if you look at something like the number 2, and I don't know if you've done this lesson with me, but the number 2 with the TW has meaning. TW means 2. That's why we've got TW at the beginning of twice, twins, twist, when you twist something. Yeah, twist 2 things around one another. So it's just a coincidence that, like we've got words like be as well. There's lots of meanings of the word be. It's just a coincidence. But you got to learn them separately. If you learn them together, it's really confusing.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Brilliant question, Cyril. All right. Anybody else? Is that your hand up again, Maxie? Go on then.
Why does all the questions, like why, where, all start with a WH?
It was a way of indicating that that's a question. It's a way of the spelling system to say, we have a question word here. Yeah.
Just be like AU, AW, A, whatever, like that.
AU, AW?
No, like stuff like that, like add it together. Just never mind.
You know what to do, Max, one day?
Never mind.
You've given me an idea, right? We should do the WH words because they actually, there's actually 2 types. All right, no, there's 3 types, right? There's 3 types of WH words. There's the ones that are the questions. Then there's the ones that are to do with the air. Whistle. Whip. Yeah, all of these have to do with air moving. Yeah, isn't that interesting? And then there's the ones that don't fit into that from Old English, like wheel and whale. We should do that one day. Remind me if I don't get round to it. All right, any other questions? It's really nice seeing you all. What I'm going to do, because we've recorded this, what I'll do when I finally get round to uploading it, and I'll try to do it as quickly as possible, is I'll put it on my website, yeah, under free videos, and you can watch it anytime. Do make sure, I know a lot of you went to a lot of trouble to print out this, tomorrow's lesson. That's what we're going to be using for whatever subject you voted on, okay? So if you're going to turn up tomorrow, please. Oh, Hannah says, I have camp next week, so I don't want to get locked down again. Fingers crossed, Hannah. Oh, my goodness.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Yes, it's my first camp for school, so.
I'm kidding. Where were you going to go?
Camp Rugbug.
Camp Rugbug? That sounds amazing. I don't know it, but it sounds amazing.
Yeah, so hopefully.
Hopefully. But you know what? If it doesn't go on, I'm sure they'll fix it somehow.
Yeah, they'll probably postpone it, but been waiting years for this thing.
Years for this thing. Oh, so frustrating. I'm so sorry to hear it. Never mind. We'll get there. Any other questions or comments? It's been so amazing seeing you all. I hope I see you again tomorrow. In the meantime, have a good day. Stay warm. Loving all your gym jams, by the way. I have noticed. I've noticed everybody's gym jams, and I'm really proud of you. So, it's time to, I'm going to unmute you all and it's time to say goodbye. I'm going to wave.
Bye.
Bye.
Say hi to Bye. 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 Bye.